Hello everyone, my name is Edith Kivenji and I'm going to present my summative reinforcement learning project. Let me start by identifying the problem that we have in, in our hands. Most students currently, especially in the traditional learning system, are reliant on going to the next grade just because the academic year is finished, not because of actual content and skills that they have learned. They move forward with knowledge gaps that can compound and be problematic over time. Some other students are very gifted and they're usually held back because they're forced to sit down with materials that are not as challenging enough, the materials that they already understand, and they could be accelerated to a more advanced concept. This one size fits all approach fails everyone. Struggling students fall further behind, while gifted students often fall into boring classrooms which do not maximize their potential. The problem is even greater in Africa, where the students' classroom sizes are even very big, yet they do not have personalized approaches. My solution is called Malami, which is an AI-powered adaptive learning platform that uses reinforcement learning to create a personalized tutor that meets each student's needs depending on where they are. The agent is the AI tutor. It behaves by selecting the appropriate language activity from the 9 possible actions, which are either video lessons for introducing new concepts, practice quizzes to assess their understanding, problem solving for application of knowledge, review, summary to reinforce the learning, adaptive hint when the student is struggling, new topics to advance when ready, remediation, which is to revisit difficult concepts, peer discussion, which is good for collaborative learning, and worked examples. The agent continually observes the student's mastery level and engagement and fatigue and learning history, and then they select the optimal next step for them to learn so that they can maximize their genuine learning outcome and knowledge that they have acquired. The reward function directly shapes how the agent behaves. When you get it wrong, the agent gives students concepts when they have not gotten to the proper mastery level that they need. Let's look at the knowledge reward, where we say that reward is delta. Delta is okay. We started by having the reward at 0, initializing the reward at 0. And different actions have different rewards that they have. Okay. So when a student mastery level increases by delta, an agent gets rewards that are proportional to the gain multiplied by 8. So for example, the raw score here, when you've done the quiz, you get the raw score from the quiz times 3 plus delta times 6, which is for problem solving, it is the same thing. It is reward times delta times, no, the reward is delta times 12 plus the M, which is mastery level, which should be greater than 0.5, more than 50%, yeah, times 2. Okay, so the multiplier reward is even higher than 12 times the gain because the deep problem solving results in better understanding of the concepts that I've learned. This teaches the agent to effectively learn the skills that are highly rewarded. Second, the engagement function, which is here, initialized here at the mastery. So the engagement function, when the agent receives a positive reward, they add 30% to here. This is a good example, the peer discussion. When an agent receives a positive reward, we add 30% to the current engagement score, which means high engagement score amplifies the reward. Low engagement score reduces the reward. For example, if an agent engagement is 60%, then the agent gets 0.27 as the reward. If the engagement drops to 30, then it drops by 3%. It drops down 3 levels down, so that's 0.09. This incentivizes the agent to keep the students interested and motivated throughout the session. Thirdly, are the penalties, right? Because we also need the penalties. So that's one, the student is not promoted without getting to a proper mastery level. And all this is under the threshold, mastery threshold. Yeah, sorry. And it's here. Just a minute. Yeah, here. So if the mastery is not above 85%, then the there's penalties that are going to be given to the model. Yeah, I'm going to show you in the results of the training how one model had different mastery here. This is an episode of a learning session. So for example, they did a work example, they got 49%. Their engagement was high, but not as high as it should be. Then they did another step, which is peer discussion. They were engaged a bit more. They did a practice quiz, and then they did problem solving. But with all this, the reward was not as high cumulatively. And that's why the whole insight is the student is struggling, please provide extra support. I'm going to show you an example. Yeah, here, episode 22, where the student is finally has 100% mastery. This is steady progress, and the student has completed all the topics. And this is a demonstration of what they have done. They have done 7 practice quizzes. They've done worked examples. They've also done problem solving, and has resulted in a 29% engagement pattern increase. I'm going to conclude here. Oh, before I conclude, I'm going to demonstrate the working of there. So you can see cell biology mastery, the genetic mastery. Let's go back to the terminal. The student has completed all the topics. The reward has been an average of 127. Their final mastery is 100%. Their engagement is 98. And the analysis is the student has completed all topics and is making steady progress. The student is also becoming more interested. We could run it another time. The instance from it is a little bit more reward. Still, the student completes everything, and the engagement has increased just a little bit, but the worked examples have reduced to 9. Their peer discussions have also reduced a bit. I'm going to conclude this video by just wrapping up everything that I've just said. This agent's objective is to maximize the cumulative reward, which translates into 3 goals: helping all the students achieve more than 85% mastery, maintaining an engagement of above 70%, and completing the curriculum efficiently without rushing or delaying. Thank you very much. That was my project. Thank you.